Hey, you're listening to Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM, ArrowFM, and MP. As always, I'm Grady, and live on Skype we got Josh.
Hey.
We got the WWE TLC Tables, Ladders, and Chairs pay-per-view coming up this weekend or Monday if you're in New Zealand. We got 6 matches announced, and we might talk a little bit at the end about some potential other matches that we could see this weekend. But let's start off with what we do know, and what we do know is that the Women's Tag Team Championship will be on the line. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler defending it against what should have been Asuka and Lana, but it ain't gonna be.
No, because apparently Lana was hurt on Monday night.
It's weird because it seems like the whole thing with the storyline is that Lana was getting that accidental push, you know, with the Soul Survivor stuff, with the wins here and there, finally breaking her being smashed through an announce table streak, and then she's the piece.
And then she beats Nia Jax in a match, and is attacked by Jax and Baszler and is put out of commission. And now Asuka has to find a new partner. So the question is, who will Asuka find as a partner?
Theories? Are we loading up the page?
No, I have a theory.
Okay.
The Performance Center is nearby.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little dry because it's not in Orlando anymore. It's in Tampa Bay. But
That's still Florida.
yeah. Io Shirai.
Okay. I'm gonna look down the Raw roster. Bliss is a little busy. Asuka's obviously already in there. Becky Lynch has got maternity leave. Dana Brooke wouldn't make a lot of sense, nor would Lacey Evans. Lana's the one that got injured out. Mandy Rose doesn't make a lot of sense. Mickie James, maybe. Naomi, maybe. Nia Jax is not one. Nikki Cross, outside chance. Peyton Royce makes no sense. Reckoning makes the least sense. Shayna Baszler's the other champ. Or we got this little person here called Charlotte Flair, who's still listed as inactive.
I suppose it's possible. It would be the one thing Charlotte hasn't done.
Oh god, they're doing it, aren't they? You had to say that.
Code. You cracked the code.
I was throwing it out here as like a wild theory, and you're sitting here going, well, it's the only championship she hasn't won. It's like, oh no. Oh no. Okay, well, I'm just going to pre-congratulate our new women's tag team champions, Asuka and Charlotte, right now. Congratulations. Golf clap for you. Oh no. It's happening, isn't it?
Who knows?
I can't escape it. But yeah, a little sad for Lana, given all she's had running for her in the past few weeks. It'll be interesting to see what happens when she does come back, because it did seem like this was a little something for her. So whether that all disappears with this injury angle, or whether she comes back and continues it, we just don't know yet. What's going to be in Lana's future? Which championship do you want to talk about next?
Let's go to the other tag team match.
Raw tag team titles on the line. The New Day defending against the Hurt Business.
This should be a fun match to watch. I've gone on the record. I believe the Hurt Business should win it.
New champs.
And I'm not going to back down from that. I think this is their moment to gain a little more gold.
Yep, I'm with you. I really hope we end this night, or that match specifically, with hashtag and new, and a lovely little graphic showing me the Hurt Business holding those Raw Tag Team Championships. I think the New Day is awesome. Love them. One of the best tag teams ever. But as you say, it's time. Let's drape the Hurt Business in gold, figuratively. And it's time for a little bit of a change as well as the Hurt Business requiring some gold. New Day's held it for quite a while if we include the SmackDown part of that reign. So, hey, maybe we should see what they can do without titles for a little while. Let's jump from the red brand to the blue brand. Let's flippity-floppity around here, because we've got a SmackDown Women's Championship match. Sasha Banks booked to defend it against Carmella.
Well, you have a returning Carmella in her first feud since coming back, versus a champion that has never successfully defended their title on a pay-per-view.
Yeah. All signs do point to a loss here.
I'm going to go with, because she shocked the world and won the champion versus champion match. I'm going to go with Sasha Banks breaking her curse, finally.
You're going with a Banks retain.
Yes. Foolishly proud. But...
well, given this is the third match that we've spoken about with this pay-per-view, and both of the other two I've predicted a title change, maybe I should side with you on this. Maybe I should side with the title not changing hands. We can't have them all change hands at TLC. But yeah, it's one of the matches I think, looking at this card, could go either way the most. As you say, Sasha Banks got her curse, Carmella coming back. I could see Sasha Banks holding on to it till WrestleMania if they want to do the Banks Bayley stuff with the Rumble or whatever. I could see Carmella getting it just because she is coming back, and they seem to be investing pretty heavily into her. There's options coming out of this. I just don't know where Banks and Bayley is going, because that, which was like the feud, has cooled down a little bit now. It's not as hot. It isn't as happening right now as it was a little while ago. And so I don't know if we're cooling it down on purpose to heat it back up later on in the new year, or if this is just a little bit of a temporary reprieve before it goes off on the road to WrestleMania, which kicks off in about a month, in theory. Just don't know what that SmackDown Women's division is going to be doing in the next 4 months before WrestleMania.
Yeah, and for everything that we don't know about the SmackDown, we know even less about Raw. Because of Asuka's inclusion in the tag team title match.
Yeah, it's a weird one with that Raw Women's title, because we were talking and we were like, hey, it would be awesome if Lana got her tag team shot as long as it's with anyone but Asuka. And then Asuka got it, and it was like, okay, I guess I can be happy with... And now Lana's out of the match, and now it's like, okay. Now Asuka's the only one officially in the match at this point. And it's just locking up that Raw Women's title, which is similar to how these Women's Tag Team Championships has worked before, is that they have been pretty good at locking up one of the women's titles from being defended. But yeah, we don't know. Obviously, Asuka Baszler still on the table. Asuka Jax still on the table. When Charlotte Flair returns and wins the titles with Asuka, I imagine Asuka Charlotte on the table. There's a lot of things on the table for the Raw Women's title, just none of them seem to be being taken or being picked up and ran with. They're very much all just sitting there and cooling down, much like Bayley and Sasha did. Do we do another match? We can do another match. Which of the 3 men's single matches do you want to hit? We got one before the song.
Let's do save the championships for last.
Okay.
Let's go Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton
in a Firefly Inferno match.
Yeah, this should be interesting. This is definitely going to be a cinematic match, without doubt.
With a name like that, you kind of have to expect it.
Yeah. think this will be very fun to watch. I know a lot of people didn't like the House of Horrors match or the WrestleMania matches that they had a few years ago, but I liked them. I thought they were entertaining and interesting and different. And we saw a Firefly Funhouse match at WrestleMania this year, and it was fun to watch. So I have no reason to believe that this won't be fun to watch.
Yeah, it's got everything sitting there with the potential to be a really awesome match. The thing with all these cinematic matches is we just don't know where they're going to go. We don't know what a Firefly Inferno match is necessarily going to be, you know. We didn't know what you were just talking about, the Firefly Funhouse match at WrestleMania with John Cena. We had no idea what that was going to be, and then it went completely and utterly off the wall.
Yeah, I've loved the little harken backs to the fire and stuff from that feud. I've enjoyed the like looking back on memory lane on that one. I think the Fiend wins here, which I have no idea how, because an Inferno match typically requires somebody to be set on fire.
Yeah.
But would a Firefly Inferno match require that? We don't know that. But I have a feeling that I don't see the Fiend taking the loss here.
Yeah.
Although, if there was anybody who could beat the Fiend in a stipulation match like this, it probably is Randy Orton because of how hot he has been as a heel. Pun intended. But yeah, I think the Fiend wins here, and then we probably won't see Orton for a couple months.
Yeah, it'll be weird to see what way it goes, because as you say, I think the Fiend needs to pick up a win here. It's so hard without knowing exactly what a Firefly Inferno match is going to sort of entail, but yeah, I think the Fiend has got crazy supernatural powers. One of his powers might be spontaneous combustion. We don't know. Easy way to win the match. He just clicks his fingers and Randy's on fire. Or potentially a Firefly Inferno match is going to take a little bit of a cue from the Firefly Funhouse match from WrestleMania, and it's going to be all sorts of bat poop crazy.
Yeah. I could see them doing like a bunch of stuff from Randy's career in this thing, and just as they are going along with the flames around them. But yeah, I have no clue what it's going to be, but I think it's going to be entertaining. That's my prediction.
Yeah. I think that's the safe bet, is that it will be entertaining. The Fiend is awesome, Randy Orton is awesome, and for the most part, these cinematic matches are pretty awesome as well, so it should be good. It's a recipe for success. And talking about infernos and fires, we're going to go into our theme this week. Our theme this week is the WWE TLC 2020 theme, which is Corey Taylor's Highway 666. And you're back for Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM, ArrowFM, and NPR. I'm Grady, he's Josh. WWE or Universal?
Universe.
Reigns versus Owens.
Oh, this should be an interesting match. I think it'll go probably 20-25 minutes. And I think this will be the closest yet it will come to Reigns actually losing his title. But in the end, I think the family comes through and Reigns retains.
Yeah, I think Roman Reigns will walk out with his championship. As much as Kevin Owens is awesome, I don't see Kevin as champ right now, not as Universal champ right now. I don't see Kevin stopping Roman Reigns on his run of destruction. And really that all just spells disaster for him in terms of overcoming and winning the championship in this TLC match.
But it should still be a really good match. Roman's become so much psychologically better in the ring, and he was already great as a psychologist to begin with, but now as a heel, he's got so much more he can work with. And Kevin Owens is a great guy, great wrestler. So I expect a really, really good match.
Yeah. I think the prediction on this one isn't necessarily who's going to walk out with the title. I think the prediction on this one is how, whether it's going to be a straight, clean Reigns win over Owens, whether we're going to see Usos interfere, whether we're going to see something else happen. I think that's the true prediction of this match.
Yeah, I do think there'll be some trickery involved. Mm-hmm. I don't think it'll be clean. But when you're heel, you don't have to win clean.
Yeah.
So...
And you do have the bonus of the TLC match itself being no disqualifications.
Yeah, so there's... so it's not even interference or anything. It's just allowed by the rules. I think we both agree Roman Reigns is retaining. It will be interesting in how he retains.
Could be one of many ways. But if we're talking about TLC matches for championships, it is time to talk about D-Mac versus AJ Styles.
Again, this should be another great match because both are great wrestlers. I don't see AJ Styles winning here. Even with his giant defense package.
Good.
But I could see it coming close and stuff. And you know what? Even though it would be perfect, I'm going to say Drew leaves the arena with the title too.
Good.
Because I'm going to say that, once again, Miz will not cash in when it's a prime opportunity to do so.
I am happy with this outcome.
Because I'm hoping for reverse psychology.
No, you're not allowed to do that.
Well, I said he would cash in at Survivor Series. He had the perfect opportunity, did not. So I'd say he would cash in when he'll have a perfect opportunity. So that when he does have a perfect opportunity, he does cash in.
That's illegal. That is banned from this show. Drew McIntyre is winning and remaining the champion forever and always. And he'll face the next awesome opponent at the next pay-per-view. Okay? Don't you reverse psychology the world here. That's not allowed. Unfortunately, with the way that this show records to make it to air here in New Zealand, SmackDown has not aired just yet, the one just before the pay-per-view, and that means it's that time of the show where we take some pot shots at what matches could be announced in the next day. And I'm thinking there's a lot of Sami Zayn and Big E back and forth. I'm thinking we're going to get an Intercontinental Championship match.
It wouldn't surprise me. And yeah, it would be a great way to give Big E something, and while we're basically waiting till WrestleMania, whatever we do with him.
Yeah, I think this feud with Sami Zayn at the moment is going to do one of two things. It's either going to give him the Intercontinental Championship, and that's, as much as it's going to suck to say, that's going to be his end goal for the short term, or he's going to fail to capture the Intercontinental Championship, and then to me that would signal that there is those bigger things potentially on the horizon for Big E. But it's hard to tell at this point. We are still 4 months away from WrestleMania, 1 month away from Royal Rumble. Things can change up and shake up before then.
Yeah, things can definitely change. Because the road to WrestleMania takes a lot of turns.
Yeah.
And just because he wins the Intercontinental Championship doesn't mean he can still win the Royal Rumble.
True.
It would make it less likely, but it would still be possible. So yeah, I'm interested in seeing if that does come in the play. Is announced for, and if they do it, I think I'd take Big E.
Yeah, my heart has to take Big E. As much as I'm loving Sami Zayn as champion and everything he's doing with that, there's just something about Big E that you gotta support. The man has whatever it is in spades. And if we're looking at the SmackDown Tag Team division, which is the only other place I could see a match potentially coming out of, we got the Street Profits. They're sort of going back and forth with Ziggler and Rude at the moment, but we also can't forget that Otis and Chad Gable are starting to team up. Nakamura and Cesaro are still around, so it could be some combination of these 4 teams.
Or how about this for a random pairing? Murphy and Dominic Mysterio.
Some combination of these 5 teams?
Or the Forgotten Sons have been not forgotten anymore.
I think you mean the Knights of Corbin, is that what it is?
Yeah.
The Knights of the Lone Wolf. There we go.
Yeah.
So, some combination of those 6 teams?
Hey, SmackDown actually has a tag team division.
Who could have seen that coming?
Yeah, I think it's probably on the era less likely than the Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I could see a match happening. And whoever ends up in the match, I could see taking the titles because the Street Profits have had them all year. Whether they were red or blue, they've had them all year. I would personally want Dominic and either Murphy or his dad Ray.
Yeah.
In the match. That's personally the combination I would want. What we'll probably get will be Rude and Ziggler, and they'll probably take the titles. Just to spite us.
Yeah, I think Rude and Ziggler is probably the most likely shot. They're your biggest odds, probably your 80% chance kind of thing. But yeah, I hope if it's Rude and Ziggler, I hope the Street Profits retain. A couple of those other tag teams I mentioned, I wouldn't mind them taking the titles and seeing what they can do with them, but Rude and Ziggler, if I look at them and I look at the Street Profits and I go, who am I more excited to see as champion? It's still going to be the Street Profits. But things don't always go the way I want to go, as you say. Just to spite us, Ziggler and Rude are going to walk out with those SmackDown Tag Team titles at the end of the night. It's just the inevitable. I'm going to ask you for a crazy prediction in a bit. This is your warning. Overall, if we're looking at TLC, we got those 2 TLC matches. We got the Firefly Inferno match. No other crazy stipulation. We don't have a tables match, a ladders match, a chairs match like previous years yet. Some stuff might happen on SmackDown, obviously, and we do have to look ahead to next month's pay-per-view, to that Royal Rumble sitting there. Best pay-per-view of the year. But if we reel it back and we look at TLC, what do you have as your crazy, crazy prediction for this pay-per-view, Josh? Don't you say the Miz cashes in.
No. I already said that it's not going to happen. Remember?
Yeah, I need you to admit that it will, so that you break this reverse psychology you put in the will.
I'm going to go with, and this is really out there.
Okay.
I think I could go with Keith Lee turning heel after the WWE Championship match.
Okay. I could see it. Well, let's leave that in everybody's minds, and one day with these crazy predictions, we'll get to do an I told you so, and it will be brilliant. But we have run out of time for this week. It's been great talking to you.
Maybe.
You can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/WrestlingRadio, Twitter page, twitter.com/WrestlingRadio, and we'll see you next week with all of the results from WWE TLC.